Christian, there's no doubt you're going to be a massive inspirational figure to all these kids here who are trying to follow in your footsteps, right?
Well, you'd hope so. I think obviously my path has been the non-traditional path into NFL. You're trying to grow the game domestically in the UK and show these guys that this is a tangible goal. So I've only been playing for a year and a half now. These guys have the opportunity to go in at a far more foundation and basic level and then build up their skills so that by the time they get to that stage where they're either in the NCAA hopefully or going to be entering the draft, they've got 5-6 years of experience under their belt.
How much? Obviously it's an advantage. The question is how much of an advantage? I guess it depends on the position as well, but take your position, tight end. How big an advantage would it have been if you had been learning skills, core skills at 15, 16?
Huge. Last year, every single thing that I did on the field was a conscious decision. Where my foot was, where my hand placement would be, what the snap count was, learning cadence, learning play calls. When I got to rookie minicamp, I'd never been in a practice before, never heard a live play call in a huddle. So these are all things that they'll be learning from a foundation level where you can build slowly and develop that kind of muscle memory and that cognitive ability where it's second nature. So I had to really focus. It was mentally exhausting, whereas now, a year into it, in that intense focused training, it's becoming second nature. Whereas for these guys, they wouldn't have to think about that low-level footwork and all of those small things.
Talk about your personal development then, because obviously it's part of the International Pathway Program. And as you've just said, you've had time immersed in an organization, you're training, learning with the team all week long. Next step, presumably, is to be getting and playing regularly. How is that path going?
So that's been my challenge. Coach Tomlin put the challenge to me to be able to block a 4-3 defensive end, and then he said I'll have a job. So that's been what I've been focusing on, as well as consistent hands. So it's gone from just learning the game, which was last year I told myself, look, this is going to be rough. You've never played the sport before, but it's a process and you have to stick to it and really just focus on improving every single day. Whereas now I'm challenging myself to just perform and execute and go out there and not think, because I know what I'm doing, and then just trust myself. What
relationship do you have with Coach Tomlin as a player at your level at the moment? I mean, you said he's talked to you about what he's expecting. Is he very hands-on in that respect? Do you feel like you've got a strong relationship with him?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the organisation, so Kevin Colbert, our general manager, they've been really, really supportive of me and been able to help me develop without babying me. So I've been held to the same standards as everyone else. If I'm not performing, my coach, James Daniels, is a really tough coach and he's hard on me, but that's what I needed to be able to close that gap. And I feel like I've been able to close that gap in knowledge, and now it's about showing that when the pads come on, I can play on Sunday. And
finally, with the academy going into its inaugural year, already it's an incredible turnout. Already of what we've seen today, there's some amazing talent, promising talent coming through. Where do you see this going? If this is 5-10 years down the line, are we going to be seeing players that are coming out at a conveyor belt into college and ultimately the pros on a regular basis?
That's the plan. I don't think you can underestimate how big this is, to have a purpose-built opportunity for players to learn the game outside of America. Obviously, the NFL and American football is seen as a domestic game, but the ability to grow the sport from 16 years old and 18 years old and then have the opportunity to go to college and then play at the highest level. The dream is to then have a first-round draft pick, a Hall of Famer, a Pro Bowler. That's the long-term vision.
Hall of Famer, you could be shooting for that, right?
Oh, we'll see.
Baby steps, baby steps. See you, man, and congrats on everything.
Thanks a lot.